Yo, what's up, y'all? Mr. Richard here. I'm So Beastly, episode 7. So this one, hadn't really thought what I was gonna come in with something different. I was gonna talk about nationalism, but instead I started playing some RuneScape lately. Yes, a great game. Go check it out if you haven't. I've been back on old school RuneScape. Um, And so I it really made me change my topic for today. But before we get into that, the vision, of course, 134 episodes, 1 million followers. We are 127 episodes away, and we have 23 subscribers on YouTube and 8 followers on Spotify. So still a good way to go, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there because visions always come true, don't you know? So with that, of course, I wrote a book. The link is in the description if you want to go snipe that baddie. Um, but yeah, that's enough about me, enough about the intro. So let's dive in to the new topic based on RuneScape, actually, of all things. Fabulous game. Been playing it for years. Glad to be back on it, honestly. Well, the topic at hand, I I wanted to go back and play my account, but it turned out I was banned for whatever reason. I got unbanned, you know. Yee yee. Got unbanned, so we are back playing on Turd Bomber 14. Add me. What's up? But anyway, so I had to start another account. So I started one called Feathersby, based on Winston Feathersby, of course, my book. And this Feathersby character, I made him a hardcore Iron Man. And for those of you that don't know, an Iron Man is someone in RuneScape who cannot trade with any other player. They basically have to do everything themselves. They can't pick up random things on the ground. Everything they get has to be either made by them or dropped by a monster that they themselves kill. It's very difficult. Now, you can, in fact, bank. I didn't do Ultimate Iron Man where you can't bank. But even so, I did hardcore Iron Man, and I ended up getting distracted and killed by a level 7 Dark Mage over in Draenor Village as I was fishing for shrimp. So I lost my hardcore Iron Man status very quickly. Um, Very quickly indeed. So then I dropped back down to Iron Man, and it's a grind, I only did it for like 2 or 3 days, maybe about a week or so, just little bits here and there. And it was such a grind having to do everything by myself. It's interesting. I enjoy doing all the things by myself. However, when you have to do them by yourself, it makes it much more difficult. And I think that's something that most people don't realize is that when you can do something by yourself, right? Great. But if you also have the option to utilize help, it makes doing that thing by yourself, much easier because you have that safety net. You know that if something goes awry, you can ask for help, you can get help. But when you're put in that predicament of having to do something by yourself with, no lifeline, no way to get around it, with no assistance in life, that it just makes things 10 times more difficult than if you were just doing something by yourself and still had that option. It's wild to think about because it's the small things. You can, like, you have to get all the materials yourself. That would be like, okay, say you're camping, right? You're gonna make the fire by yourself, absolutely. But more than likely, you may go find sticks, but you also might bring wood that you bought at a store. Okay, well, in this scheme, in this setup, you can't you can't go buy those logs at a store. You got to go chop them down yourself. Right? And that changes the dynamic of doing things on your own. So in one sense, you are doing something on your own, right? You're making that fire on your own, but you are using materials that you purchased from someone else. Okay? So it's kind of a hybrid aspect right there, right? But if you had to do everything on your own and you couldn't ask for help and you had to go chop those logs yourself, You might feel more of a sense of accomplishment for every little task you achieve, but at the same time, it's like almost it gets to a point where it's just, it's obviously more difficult to do everything on your own, but it's also more boring because you can't have those same interactions with people, if you can't ask for help. And then it puts that restriction on you. And I think that restriction in itself is really what makes things more difficult, is when you can't do something, all you want to do is do it, right? You're underage, you can't drink. So of course, what are you going to do? You're going to go drink, right? You can't jump into a certain body of water. So what are you going to do? Oh, you're going to jump into it. We always want to do what we can't do. We want what we can't have, right? So if we can't have help, all we're going to do is want to find something that can help us. And so, this is and it's just very interesting. RuneScape is it's a metaphor for life. Okay? Right? You can do everything on your own, but it's much easier if you have help. Okay? It's also much more fun. You can grow much quicker if you are utilizing help, if you're helping other people and you're helping yourself. Uh you can both excel quicker. You can level up faster. Yes, that is a RuneScape analogy. You can level up faster with help because, for instance, all right, I'll just take smithing for example. It takes forever to mine the ore that you would need to smelt the bars, right? But if you can go buy them, yes, it's going to cost more money, but it's going to be so much faster leveling up and doing what you want to do and getting to the point where you need to get with the help of the Grand Exchange. For those of you that don't know, the Grand Exchange in RuneScape is basically this huge marketplace interconnecting all the players in the game where they can put up any item they want for sale and buy any item they want, set the prices. Yes, there's a market, there's a RuneScape economy. It's honestly a great tool, a great learning tool. I love RuneScape. It's a great game. Jagex, chef's kiss to Jagex. Um, but anyway, so with the help, we're able to grow faster. And I'll give you another example of why this is such a positive thing. And I'll use RuneScape again. So I have my old character back, which is now again my new character, Turd Bomber 14. Um, and so what I've been trying to do, I just started playing again yesterday on this account because I just got it back yesterday. And so what I've been doing is high alching items, and there's a restriction on how many you can buy. There's a limit on certain items, how many you can buy um, per certain time frame. I think it's every hour, every couple hours. I'm not 100% sure. But one of the things I was buying was adamant plate bodies. So the plate body is just an armor, right? It's the upper body armor of the adamant weapons class. Okay. And so I was doing that. I can only buy 125 at a time. But it was really limiting my performance. I wouldn't say performance, but it was limiting my growth. Okay. And so in this world, I just started chatting up with someone, stalagmites. All right. Shout out to you, my boy over at Varrock West Bank Anvil. Uh, so he was making adamant plate bodies, and we just started chatting it up, chopping it up, as the youth say. And he just he offered me a trade and said, "Hey, I'll trade you this amount of money." I said, "Sure, fabulous. I'll buy what you got." And so he traded me what he had. He traded me 335 adamant plate bodies in this first go round. I was like, "Oh, hell yeah, let's rip it." And so I bought those. So instead of my limit of 125 per however long, I can buy up to as many as I want because it's player to player. So he's directly helping me and I'm directly helping him. I'm giving him more money than he would make at the Grand Exchange because there is a tax. Apparently, I just found that out. Crazy that there's a tax in a video game, but whatever. So I'm helping him out. I'm buying his items that he's making. He's making more money than he would if he put it on the Grand Exchange, which is the RuneScape marketplace. And he's allowing me to buy more items than I would normally be able to buy, which is allowing me to progress my magic skill quicker than if I had to wait on these time limits to re or these buy limits to refresh. Okay. Yes, I spent a little extra money buying from him, but that's all well and good because it's worth the extra money. I'm still making a solid amount of profit by doing what I'm doing with those plate bodies. And, we now struck up a friendship. Yes, his name is green on my screen now. His little white dot is now green. So, from Turd Bomber 14, shout out to you stalagmites. You're a bro or a broette. I'm not real sure. You could be a dude, you could be a girl. I can't see through those pixels. Um, but, you're a real help, and I'm absolutely I love it. Um, but through all of this, my point is that yes, we can do things on our own, and it will be fulfilling. But to get where we need to get where we want to get as efficiently and quickly as possible, we need to accept help. We need to ask for help. Okay? We need those relationships. Life is not meant to be lived alone. It's you need to be comfortable on your own. You need to be capable of doing things on your own. You need to be satisfied by being alone, right? You can't make your whole existence and your only fulfillment come from other people. You need to be fulfilled by yourself, but you also need to be able to accept the relationships and be willing to ask for help and to help others because this mutual assistance is the best way for everybody, for the entirety of the planet, the entire society to progress and reach its fullest potential. The more we help each other, the more we help ourselves. And that's really what it comes down to. So help everybody, accept help yourself, and then, just enjoy what comes from it. Enjoy that it's a lot easier than doing it all by yourself, you know? But that's basically all we have. You know me, I don't plan things. I'm a short podcaster. I love these 15 or so minute episodes, give or take, somewhere around there. It fits me, it fits y'all. It's quick and easy, breezy, beautiful cover girl. But yeah, that's all we have. That's all we have. Um, you know, classic potty and tuber stuff like subscribe, follow, all that whatever nonsense comment. I don't know. Or don't. But like I said, my book is the description. Check that. The link to buy it's in the description. Winston Feathersby, I'll let you know how it goes. Stream of consciousness, conversational tone, novel, unreliable narrator, pretty epic tale. Maybe I'm biased, but you know, who cares? I can be biased about my own stuff when I'm happy about it. And yes, I'm admitting that I'm definitely biased about it, but I think it's the best book ever written. But purchase it and see for yourself. Anyway, that's all from I'm So Beastly, episode 7. 127 to go until we reach a million subscribers, followers, whatever. Um, yeah, I'm Mr. Richard, and we will chizzy chat at a later time. Ta-ta.